Well, it's a topic I wanted to cover, and it kind of plays into the last piece, really. But it's about weaknesses and strength, and the masks of illusion often portrays strength, but belies below it the weakness, which we all have. And it's a subject that kind of pervades our life and is another ass-backwards part of the duality of only two choices. And it runs fairly rampant right throughout our lives in society. But it does tend to be a bigger aspect of men's lives than women. With men, society dictates they are supposed to be tough at all times, and that is a strength. No, actually, it's an illusion. It's another mask that sets one half of society to portray something that most of us are just not. There are two elements of toughness, but society always goes for the external version. Men with six-packs are tougher. In some cases, yes. Most not, because the six-pack look often covers up hidden insecurities, till the strength becomes the weakness. The real toughness is the inner version, those that fight regardless of stature, physique. I would sooner personally have mental toughness, which is inner, than be a 6-foot-plus man beast, like a latter-day Viking warrior, because despite the external appearance of the tough guy, unless it's aligned with an inner toughness, eventually the brute force will meet its match. Clever toughness can often overcome brute force, like the story of David and Goliath. Sun Tzu is similar, in fact, the art of war without firing weapons. But people with no inner strength only have the mask of illusion of brute force, and they always call to use violence and weaponry at the first hint of trouble. These are often like most modern-day generals, who hide behind the troops and bark orders for them to risk their lives, not the generals, because they're too stupid, or worse, too cowardly to do it themselves. Real leaders, like in the past, were up front leading their armies, not pushing pens round the five-sided building. And it's a classic example we should all adapt to of leading by example, whether it's on a battlefield or anywhere else in life. But the macho man image, like the ultimate female body image portrayed in many adverts and magazines, is a failure technique to lower people's vibration. It often leads to worries and eventually manifests itself into illness through various forms. Those that seek both of those ideologies are left with a task of basically chasing their own tails, because they always have to keep proving themselves. But all that image, be it the macho man or the ultimate female size 8, size 10 dress body image, are all laid out by marketing snake charmers, and their whole goal is to get you to attain something that most are unable to attain, whether that be body image or goods to buy that make you, according to them, a better this or a better that. But yet again, that's the external version of you. The real beauty of anyone is always in it, but that's not marketable to the energy vampires, is it? Marketing is all about bullshittery, creating a false image of a product or an item and getting you to invest in it. Look at the word image. Also means idol, and also mirror. Put enough mirrors up, you are then in the trick realm in the world of illusion, known as the Hall of Mirrors. Some of you may have visited this particular realm in the sleep time. The circus realm wasn't a good place to be frequenting, I might add, and as I understand it now, that realm has been removed. So marketing plays a role in movies, all presenting the image of the tough guy. Chuck Norris, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger and others, all designed to make men strive for that image and body type. And it's a trap many get caught up in, like bodybuilders, male and female. It's all external visuals of an image, is it not? It's not the real you, is it? Quite frankly, those bodybuilders' images make me want to puke, but each to their own, I suppose. It's unnatural and often attained by brutal techniques, using all kinds of drugs or harsh eating habits. For what? Just to get a number of people to say, "Oh, you look great." Is it worth it? Is it not better to be known for being who you are, preferably aligned with an inner beauty, than the false image presented? Bodybuilders, in essence, become a projection of the vessel. It's not the real them, is it? The real beauty of those people is they've forgotten their real beauty is contained already within them. They've just put a mask on it. But projection of the vessel is, in almost all cases, covering up weaknesses and insecurities. Now, the biggest and most often mentioned as a weakness is love. A nice tool and a piece of word magic the dark forces have inserted into society. But how can the greatest gift we can all have be deemed to be a weakness? Yes, love can make us do silly things, trying to attain it, and awkward things to keep it, and often irrational things when we've lost it. But these are all part of life's learning lessons. Ultimately, a world without love is a place of total darkness, which is exactly what the dark forces have wanted all along. Divide and conquer, get us hating each other. Love is a weakness. No, it's a strength. And the reality is, they are pushing that as a weakness because they are incapable of it, or only have limited access or an understanding of it. Like the saying goes, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, then we will all have peace. So how is that a weakness? Clearly it's not, and it should be embraced. Don't be exposing your weaknesses, society tells you. Well, when has what society has told us ever been of benefit to us? Answer is rarely. So why do we follow it? Perceived weakness is only a weakness for as long as you hold on to it. It sits festering inside of you and creates vulnerability, which becomes a weakness. Not admitting the reality of your fears makes you a weaker person. It's certainly not a strength, is it? This is why we talk about dealing with your shadow sides and doing your inner work, because when you do it, that becomes the ultimate inner strength. Admitting your aspects of weaknesses to others shows you know you have to work on things to remove them. And like I said, this is why this show bangs on about doing shadow and inner work. Why would you want to hold on to something, fears and weakness, when you can let it go? That is then a strength. Is it not better to love your shadow side and love to do your inner work than hold on and mask the illusion? It's like people who rant and rave in your face. To me, they are weak, because the ranting and raving is the mask to cover their own weaknesses and limitations. What essentially they're trying to do is to get you ranting and raving as well, to level up the playing field, because their own subconscious knows your field is stronger. So they'll try to level it out and get you out of balance. But those who rant and rave in a discussion or an argument, to those who have inner control of their own emotions, are easily picked off and nullified. So the inner is the strength. The external ranting is actually a weakness. It's not coming through, like society tells us, the tough guy image. I shouted that person down. Not really. So those that are ranting in your face, they can be easily picked off when you have inner control of your own emotions. A few carefully placed words, whilst they've lost control, can end it. No one ever won an argument by ranting. So from an observer point of view, who is the weaker? The tough guy, or the mouthy female, or the one who just observes and picks and chooses the words? It takes a far braver person and stronger person to walk away from a fight than those wishing to continue. But that in society is considered weakness, to back down. No, it's not. It's an inner strength. And like love, you should learn to embrace it, because that's the real you. Now, the masks of illusion, first coined on this show back in 2016, are all coming down, whether you're light and dark, weak or not. Those that have done their inner work will stand stronger and taller now in the face of what is a chaotic public backlash of their own masks dropping. The masks, when down, reveals all. So if you don't like what you hide, address it, or it will address you. So either you control it, or it will and has continued to control you.